but I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man.
Good morning and
until I'm
welcome to
done.
the 51st Breakfast Ball. I'm your host, Bob Cardia. To my far left, your far right, as always, the dashing Richie Stoltz. And in the middle today, the latest addition to the South Jersey Golf School staff, Alex Petrell from Australia with the cool accent. Good morning, Alex.
G'day.
Good day. I love it. I love it. See, I told him we were going to throw some shrimp on the Barbie, but he said they don't say shrimp in Australia, do
They
they?
say prawns.
I know. So that commercial I saw when I was a kid is a complete lie.
You know, it was funny. I didn't have his phone number saved in my phone yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a text from him the one day, and it said mate, and I was like, oh, I know who this is.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's either
All
spot.
right. Well, there you go. That's right. I love that, though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so real quick, I did the KYW 1060 News Radio with Matt Leon this past week, one-on-one. Shout out to Matt. That was a really, really good experience. And honestly, I can't believe the response. I mean, we've had over 7,000 views on our podcast since then. So God bless. Matt, thank you so much. It was a great experience. All right. So today, well, first things first, before I go into today's topic, I just introduced Alex. Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself, your experience. How'd you end up here in New Jersey?
All right. So I was playing on the China PGA Tour, and I broke my hand, so I had to take a break from that. And then I was going to go back to it, and COVID happened, so
Yeah, COVID sucks.
that actually shut the entire tour down. So I had to sort of go back to square one. And in that time, whilst I was waiting for Australia to open back up, because we sort of shut down for 3 years, I met my wife, and she came and visited me in Australia, and I sort of had the choice, either go Europe or America. I had this beautiful girl, so I was like,
Oh.
I'll come to America, and here I am.
I didn't even know it's a love story. I
Yeah,
love it. We're
that's it.
going to make a movie out of
It's a
this,
little
and this
love
is
story.
fantastic.
So-
All right, I love it. I absolutely love it. That's great. That's
So,
great.
in regards to playing-wise, I started playing when I was quite late, so sort of 17, 18.
Wow.
I picked up quite late.
Unusual, yeah.
Turned pro when I was 26 because I had to finish university. Didn't really want to, but
Yeah.
I went and did university in Australia. One of the things I wish I did was come to America for university and actually play college golf.
They don't have college golf in Australia?
No,
Oh,
there's nothing like that. So I was sitting there.
No shrimp and no college golf.
That's it. So I was sitting there basically, not going to college, playing golf all the time, and then I just rock up for the exams, and
Yeah.
then
You were a financial advisor, right? That's what you ended up being. Yeah.
I've got commerce and economics as degrees.
Gotcha.
So when I broke my hand, I was a financial advisor.
Yeah.
And then
Hopefully not striking a client.
Yeah. and then I tried for the Canadian tour, 2015. That's when I missed out on the U.S. Open by 2 shots.
Yeah, the final stage of the U.S. Open, though, right?
Final stage.
Yeah, the final stage of the U.S. Open came razor close to making
That's
that.
it. So on the second last hole, on par 3, hit the back edge, rolled all the way back, sat on the edge of the hole, tap and birdie. On the final hole, same thing happened. It was tucked in the back right corner, hit the corner, span to the right, sat on the edge. Both of those could have gone in, and that would have been a different story. But that's golf. That's how it goes.
Oh, I know. I not nearly to the magnitude, but I tell the story all the time of the playoff I had. The high school team I played on. We made the state championship, and there's a tryout for the last spot on the team, and it was a par 3. I still remember it was 30 years later, so I'm probably still bitter about it. But I hit a shot, right, and I put it like 8-9 feet from the hole, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, pressure's on the guy I'm playing against, right? Guy pulls the ball left. I mean, like probably 15, 20 yards left. And to this day, I have no idea what that ball hit. Sprinkler head, rock, turtle, who knows? It was 20 yards left of the green, 15 yards. Hits the turtle, whatever, kicks straight up in the air, lands 1 inch from the hole. Guy taps in, I miss the putt, and I lose. I'm like, that's just like, you never know, man. You just don't know what's going to happen.
That's the game.
Rubber the green. All right. Well, we are thrilled to have you.
Thank
And
you.
Alex is
Yeah.
available on Sundays right now. If you go on the South Jersey Golf School's website, you can book a lesson with him. he'll be opening up other days, I'm sure, as we go along. So if you're interested in taking a lesson with Alex, please, by all means. And as you know, Richie and I are available pretty much between the two of us every day of the week. So anyway, today we're going to talk about team golf. Lair quote, the ingredients of team spirit are mutual respect, good communication, closeness, trust, acceptance, and encouragement. Typically, if one of those is missing, the team doesn't perform as well. And I'm gonna go with Richie on some of this here, but I know Richie, you've played a ton of team golf. Alex, you said you have played some team golf, right?
Some team golf is an amateur, yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
in Australia, it's called what?
It's called pennants.
Pennants.
So it's similar to what is known in New Jersey as gap.
Gap matches, yeah. So we should all do pennants, though, right?
I think it's because you win a pennant, which is like
Gotcha.
Oh, pennant. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Because pennants, I know Richie and I both need to do some pennants. So anyway, Richie, well, I'm going to ask you, as a team that we finished 15th in the country, and we were discussing before the show, what would you say the biggest difference is, and or the biggest plus and minus to playing team golf?
So, I like playing individual golf, but team golf is also a lot of fun. The biggest difference between the two is I have to fully rely on myself to play well if I'm playing individual. If I'm playing on a team, I have to actually rely on everybody else, which, takes some team encouragement, takes respect for your other teammates as well. It helps build a community around golf instead of it just being you.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest difference right there is,
I
playing-
get that.
Yeah.
I do. I get that completely. Team golf is interesting, and I always tell people when I'm coaching, because people a lot of times suffer from people looking at them, like they get stage fright when they're playing golf, and I always tell people, you have to be so mentally tough to play golf. The three sports I played the most growing up in adolescence was I played football for almost 7 years, I wrestled for several years, and I played golf. And I ask people which is the most similar. And people always say wrestling and football due to the more physical and violent nature of it. And I say, oh no, it's wrestling and golf. And people look at me like I'm on drugs, which I get that sometimes. I say no. When you're playing football, there's 10 other guys on the field out there. If you don't play well, you can still win, right? Basketball, there's 4 other guys on the court. Baseball, there's 8 other guys on a diamond. In golf, when you're playing individually, it's you on an island, right? And people are looking at you, and you have to deal with that. Same thing with wrestling. Like if you wrestle poorly that day, you're going to get beat, right? That's just if you're in an individual tournament, that's you're going to get beat, and you have to deal with sitting in front of 100 people getting your butt whooped. So team golf, it's 5 count 4, right? So you play 5 guys, and you can only count 4 scores. So there is a chance the team can pick you up, but and golf is a little unique because the tiebreaker for team golf is what?
It's the 5th score, right?
The 5th score, yeah. So if you're the 5th guy, you never want to let your teammates down. So even if you're playing like crap, yeah, you're right, you're right. I know.
That's good. I like it.
It is, isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like even if you're playing like crap and you're like, oh, my score's not going to count, you better know because if
it
you
does
you know,
count.
let's say you get stung by a bee and you're allergic and you shoot 99, and the guy ahead you shoots 98, I mean you're going to feel like crap. So yeah. So anyway, that's I appreciate that insight, sir. All right, let me see here. Lair says that athletes have an ideal performance state, as we talked about in weeks past, but so do teams. So he did this thing with Olympic athletes, and he's done a lot of work with high-level athletes. It's clearly shown when if you're representing your country, right, as well as your team, the amount of engagement you have and the effort that you give increases. Because God knows you're on national television and you're representing your country. You don't want to let them down. And the bonds that you build with those teams, like that's pretty cool. And that's kind of why we do things the way we do at Rutgers. Yeah,
I think
for
there's
sure.
a fair bit of pride that goes into that too.
Oh, for sure.
Like if you're playing for your country,
Oh yeah.
you got your flag behind you. So
Yeah. But Australia, you don't have college golf.
we don't have college golf, no.
What's up with that? Do you have golf for the Olympic team? You should probably do, right?
We have an Olympic team, but
Okay.
So
you could technically play.
Yeah, could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's pretty cool.
Who was it that won it recently?
Didn't Shoffley win this year? The gold? I think so. Maybe.
I don't know. That
I
was
can't
awesome.
remember. That shows you how much attention we put to Olympic golf, but
Yeah,
it's, it's
that's
yeah. But yeah. I mean, that's kind of cool because like even in like I know if your grandparents were from that country, you can represent that country.
Really?
I think Mike Piazza represented Italy because
Right,
yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
you're set, man. Your kids are set.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
it.
Okay, so I love this point because we talked about this also in Philadelphia 76ers or you talked about soccer. Bringing in great players to make a dream team doesn't always work. It worked with the Miami Heat, but it didn't work with the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, you need a certain degree of team chemistry. It worked with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But then what was the soccer team you were talking about that didn't work with?
Oh, like England's got some of the best players put together, and when they play for their individual teams, they play better than when they get chucked into the World Cup.
Yep.
Because some of the guys just butt heads because they're used to fighting against them all the time.
Yeah, right. There has to be a certain. I'm sure they
have that strong team dynamic that
find their
we talk
identity.
about.
Who's the go-to player? Who's who's really the number one? Yeah, that guy. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. So Laird talks about adversity too, and I agree with this too. When adversity starts happening with a team, it can splinter a team. And if you're a coach out there watching this program, you'll see it. Laird talks about this. Typically speaking, when negativity or adversity or any number of things that are non-congruent with teamwork start going wrong with your team, you find the team fractions off into groups of 2 and 3 players, right? And they start hanging out together and they start talking together and they start having their own ideas. And typically that is not healthy at all to a program. And I know you've put on a bunch of teams, like when we had A, B, and C teams. So you could probably speak to that better as a player than I could. So.
Yeah, our 2019 team, I would even say, there was some splintering off there. But I'll tell you, that splintering wasn't in an unhealthy way. It was almost just like I felt like it was just friendships.
Yeah,
Because it was,
it's, yeah.
We had, what was it, Colton, Siggs, Hughes,
Yeah,
and
Wiley.
Kunkel all living in the,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
Wiley all
yeah.
living in the same house. So, of course, they're going to splinter off together.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
But at the same time, I feel like it wasn't in an unhealthy way. It wasn't
No.
in the,
Yeah.
we're separating from everybody else. And
No.
I think that's when it gets unhealthy, is when you separate from everybody else instead of,
No,
just
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, they're great guys.
outcasts.
yeah.
What's that?
Being an outcast.
Yeah. You don't want the rest of your team feeling
Correct.
like they're outcasts.
Right. You
As-
don't want, especially if it's one good player. Like, and we could probably speak to it in a couple different ways today. But yeah, when 1 or 2 players feel like they're being shut out of the group, it's never healthy.
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
No. Yeah. At that point, there's an air of defensiveness that develops. Individuals, they start playing tentative. They start playing uninspired. Because, like, if those guys don't have my back, I don't have theirs, for sure. However, with a strong team support system, you can find more security. It's basically when there's a crisis within the team, right? It's viewed like when adversity hits a team that has really good cohesiveness. The team views it as a threat to the whole, not as opposed to like an individual just saying screw it. Yeah, they fight for each other, which is ultimately how you want to build a team. Now you said Penance was what you played in, right? So
Yeah.
how long what was the longest period of time you played with one of those teams?
So I've done a few stints. Like I played at Gales Golf Course when I was classified as a junior when I first started, and
That's in Australia.
That's in Australia. So the format for that was you had 5 juniors, 5 seniors, and then 11 opens, and then you'd play 6 other clubs in the vicinity, and then you had your Div 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, junior would be what age?
Up to 18.
Okay, and then seniors would be adults. Okay.
Over 50, yeah. Seniors are over 50, and then opens in between. So if you're a really good junior, you might make it into the opens team. So whether or not they wanted to do that. But I played with Gales for ages, and like the juniors were really cohesive, but we didn't really know much of the opens. Whereas when I played for a club like Indooroopilly that had really good cohesiveness, like they would pair off some of the open players with some of the juniors, and we would all be giving each other advice and working as a team rather than separate factions within.
And I'm sure that team probably did better, right?
Yeah. Gales was a solid team, no doubt about it, but Indooroopilly had the best teamwork I'd ever really seen.
There's a lot to be said. I mean, of doing this for as long as I have, having teams that get along and and what I love about like Richie's teams, like I still talk, I still speak, to a lot of those kids.
I hope so. One of them's your son.
Yeah, well, I don't talk to him. No. He's great. Yeah, I talked to Colton actually yesterday. It was really cool. Certain times as a parent, when they're doing the promos for the radio show for KYW, like a day or two before, Colton called me and said, "My friends, you're a celebrity, Dad. Somebody said you're on the radio." And I'm like, "Wait, did the podcast come out already?" And apparently they released promos, and I didn't realize it. So the fact that he called me and let me know was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But Siggs, I still run into Hughes. I still run into Lucas. Actually, Lucas says hi, by the way. He was hitting balls on the range the other day.
Right.
He said that playing with you was great. I mean, it's being invited to players' weddings and Zach and Gloria. It's great. It's but that is a cohesive group. Like they all, like if I were to say Siggs to Hughes or Colton to, they smile. Like they go, how is he? How is he? How is he? Yeah. Goots reached back out. Yeah, Goots should be down here, to be honest with you.
I know.
Yeah. Goots, if you're watching this, actually, I'll probably send this to you. Get your ass down to South Jersey. Okay, so how do you build team harmony? That was one of the things we talked about, and we'll go into it more down the road. But start, and this works with anything, like our relationships that we do, and team building. But first, try to start doing things together. Like I know Mary, our assistant, who we're going to get Mary. We're trying to get Mary on this podcast every week, and she somehow finds a way to get out of it. But her husband, Gordon, has a band, which is the Wayback Time Machine. Mm-hmm. See, Gordon, I put a shout out for you there. We've gone to his concerts a few times, right? I actually bought the entire staff his concert shirt, right? So activities. Rich and I playing scrambles together. We win a lot.
That's fun.
Yeah, if you're going to invite us to your scramble, just know going in we're going to be pretty good.
Scrambles are where you all hit a shot, then you pick the best shot, and then all hit a shot. Yeah, we call those Ambrose.
Ambrose?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one last year that was hilarious was they tried to pair Richie and us off with a couple different people, and they didn't know us. Like, we don't want them. We don't want them. So like we got kicked out of two groups. So finally they said, look, you guys can play as a twosome with you get a third shot on an alternate basis. So what do we end up?
Third shot?
Yeah.
You just changed handicap in Australia.
Well, so they what do we end up, like 20 under or something like that? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we just we beat everybody.
I drove 5 greens.
Yeah.
You.
I holed out from 60 yards. It was just like I made every putt like the guys behind us. We made anything from 8 to 15 feet. It was like that's a gimme. We just made it. We just kept making. It was just crazy. Yeah. So after it was over, people were like, "What the frick?" I'm like, "Well, you told us to do it."
The guys that came in second, weren't they the ones that?
Oh yeah, they're one of the guys that refused us. Yes, yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah.
The last one I played in was a charity match for the rugby players in Ipswich, and Peter Senior was playing as part of that.
Wow.
And our team, it was a 4-man scramble, as you guys call it.
Yeah.
It's 4-man Ambrose, and I think our team shot 15 under, and Peter Senior shot 14 under.
Oh, you beat Peter Senior.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, "How did you guys do that?" Mm-hmm. And it was basically just driving all the greens. When you got 3 other people, you just stand there, you get your top flight out, and you bomb it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's it.
If I'm assembling a scramble team, Richie's always on that team.
Yeah.
I'll put Colton on that, my oldest son, because he murders the golf ball. It's just
need one person with a high handicap.
Eagle. Now, well, we started Eagle. He like drive 8-iron into par 5, and then he drove the next green, and I made both putts. It was like
That's nice.
we started Eagle. I'm like, okay, we're 4 under through 2. But anyway, so that's what do things together. Okay, 2, create stability. One of the biggest, and I know you've seen this happen. A lot of high school golf coaches. So high school golf coaches, if you're watching this, when you create instability, like when you coach based upon feel and not upon anything empirical, you're running a risk. I can't say how many high school kids I've recruited saying, yeah, I should have played one, or I should have played two, or I should have been in the starting lineup, but the coach didn't like me. Now, some of that probably is the kid, to be honest with you. But like, I tell everybody, when I do recruiting visits and the parent says to me, "Can my kid play for you?" And I say, "Look, I have favorites," and they always sit back and look at me like I'm on crack, right? Like, I have favorites, but I don't play favorites, right? I don't even have to like you, okay? If you show up to practice on time, you do what you're supposed to do, you get your grades, and you shoot your numbers based upon the formula that we have. What happens, Richie?
We win.
Yeah, we win, and they play, and they play. Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
not-
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
thinking. I was thinking of Methodist
Yeah.
when it comes to this, because I wasn't the biggest fan of how
Yeah.
the coach over there did things. So that's why I was thinking about that, and then you said, right, Richie, what happens? I was
Yeah.
like,
Well, okay, let's address that.
I
Like,
got you,
I'm
right.
sure there have been many players that have gone through programs like that walked away like unhappy because there was no specific way to get in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, there was a specific way to get in the lineup. It almost felt like it was impossible.
Okay.
Was the problem. It
Mhm.
was the coach had 3 coaches picks.
Mm-hmm.
So he would pick whoever he wants for the first 3 guys.
Yep.
And then you have a playoff, or not a playoff, but you pretty much have a 2-day tournament
Mm-hmm.
with the entire team. And
For 4 and 5.
for 2 spots. And the issue with it was if one of the top 3 guys won it, then the coach doesn't have to use his coach's pick on him, so then he uses it on somebody else.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
you could completely, if 2 of the top 3 guys end up winning the thing. I mean, the one kid the one day shot like 66 the first day, and I'm sitting there and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're the number 1 guy on the team.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Why
now
is
I'm
he
playing
in
for
this?
1 spot.
Yeah.
And the
That's
guy I'm
tough.
playing with just shot 68. I'm like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
You know, and it almost felt like it was like
It's
impossible to
demoralizing.
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
make it on the team.
Yeah.
You know, to even start. And then don't even get me started with how it was with baseball.
Baseball,
There's a reason I quit baseball.
I was president. I was president of Little League, and actually we've had some great teams. We've won districts and won 9 tournaments regionally and all that kind of stuff. Actually, Alec, shout out to Alec Rodriguez. He just got signed by a minor league team.
Really?
Out in California, yeah. I think it was Oakland, I think. But whatever it is, that's another thing. Like Little League baseball coaches, I always say in coaching, put your players in a position to succeed. And the problem with most youth coaches is every dad's kid plays either shortstop or pitcher.
Mhm.
Like that's where they play because that's their 2 glamour positions.
Well,
yeah.
my mom will die on this hill, I think. I only got to play pitcher when we needed to win. That was it.
Uh-huh.
That was the
That's
only
so-
time. So the 2-3 games a year that we needed to win. Or,
So you're
Towards
a good
the end
player,
of the
but they just didn't like you.
those were the only times I got to pitch. Those were the only times I got to pitch.
It's not
was
very
when
likable.
we needed to win the game. Other than that, I never got to pitch. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I want to pitch.
Mm.
Like, oh, we got to let this guy pitch. He pitched yesterday.
Yeah.
We
I used to get so mad.
I bet. I mean, that's
I used to
frustrating,
get
isn't
so
it?
mad.
It's terrible. Well, with T-ball, the only thing worse than watching T-ball is watching paint dry. It's because the kids are all 5, 6 years old. You're
Sure.
lucky if they don't run off the field and start ripping out weeds. So we had these 2 coaches one year, and the kids, dads were overzealous. They put the one kid at pitcher and one kid at first base, and every other kid they're like, all right, just go out there. So like what happens at T-ball, the ground ball back to the pitcher, first base. Like there was no other activity like every inning that was and like you can't. Yeah. Or I remember one coach, he had his kid. Okay, his kid was a heavy set kid, right? Who was left-handed. He kept putting him at shortstop. Like that's not where the kid should go. That's baseball. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right.
Anyway, number 3.
Just plays out.
Understand personalities on your team. Avoid negatives. Some people are more negative by nature. Okay, that's the key. But the key is when negativism. Wow, negativism. Yeah, wow. Okay,
You got
mental
this.
block.
That's
Right.
okay.
When that comes up, you got to nip it in the bud early, man.
Mhm.
You have to get the team all buying on a clear vision, a clear path. If you can avoid being negative, right, that's huge because we know, right, it's contagious, right?
Yeah.
The second you start to have some people, like, have you
Yeah.
seen that happen? I'm
I
sure
mean,
you have.
in work environments, you have one person that's a negative Nancy. They spread it around.
They say negative Nancy in Australia, by the way.
They do.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, I say negative Nancy all the time. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually cancerous. So if you see negativism early, got it that time. Okay. Especially work hard. Work hard to avoid it.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you guys want to throw in there? Did I miss anything today? Team building. We'll talk more about it later. This is again, we say that in business, in life, coaching, golf. This is what we do.
That's it.
And we've had a lot of success between the three of us doing it.
I think something that made our team really good in terms of team building was the mutual respect we had for each other as players, but also the competitive nature we had against each other.
Well, that's why we set it up the way we do. So
Yeah.
if you want to hear the way we set it up at Rutgers, okay, so we have anywhere between 36 to 54 hole tryout to start the season. And wherever you finish after that point is where you are on the team. Okay. Then we start playing tournaments. Now, every tournament we play, the top 3 guys are always safe. But that 4 and 5 spot are always open. So we play, again, 3 to 4 rounds a week. And every score that you shoot during the season counts towards your average. Okay? So if whatever happens, the number 4 guy shoots an 86 one day, he had a cold and he didn't play well. And then the 6 guy shot 75 in our competitive rounds. If his average moves above him, guess what? You're in, right? So the 4 and 5 spot are always fluctuating. And on the best teams we've had, like that team that you had with Colton, Siggs, Wiley, all those guys, the highest average kid we had was like 79, and twice in the span of a year, right? Imagine this as a Division III golf team. Our B team, I entered them in tournaments together, the A team and the B team, twice in 2 years or a year and a half. The B team beat the A team, which is pretty. When you have that depth,
Yeah.
then everybody's just competing for their life at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, well, summary techniques that we talk about, they're tried and true. They're proven. Yeah. Comment if I love the breakfast ball at the bottom, and we'll send you gift cards. I still have to send Toby your card. Toby, it's on my desk. And did I give you the card for Jeremy yet? Okay, well, I'll give that to you today. Jeremy gets his card. Toby gets his card. If you put I love the breakfast ball, it goes into a hat. We do a Starbucks gift card drawing every week. Remember, if anything we do here helps you, right? If anything we do helps you, if you get something out of this and you become rich and famous, Richie, what happens?
We get 10%.
We get 10%. Yes, obviously we get
At the
10%.
least.
Split 3 ways now.
Wow, we're splitting 3-way. What the hell with that?
15%.
I'm a philanthropist. It's good. 15. All right. Oh, also, if you're interested in getting some breakfast ball swag or some South Jersey Golf School swag, go on our website, South Jersey Golf Schools. There's a section there for the team store or the company store. I think that's about it, right? Anything else we left out today? Alex, thanks for coming on today. We
No
look forward to
problem.
great things for sure.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
mate, I love it. I was going to throw some shrimp on the barbie or prawns on the
Shrimp
barbie.
on the barbie.
Yeah, thank you for
There you
saying
go.
that, by the way. Now I feel
No
better.
worries.
Okay. All right. God bless, guys. We'll see you next week.
Glass of bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. Alcohol. Because no great story ever started with, I'll have a salad.